So the news drops, and it hits Hollywood like I don't know, like a ton of bricks. It's the sound of like champagne glasses and a shattering illusion all at once.
Exactly. For 11 years, they were this proof that you could find real love on a reality show, build a whole empire, and maybe, just maybe, prove your mother-in-law wrong.
It was more than a marriage, right? It was a brand, a very, very integrated corporate structure built completely in the public eye.
Televised, documented, filed. It felt unshakable because it felt like it was built on contracts just as much as it was on, romance.
But even the strongest empires can fall. We are, of course, talking about Kandi Burruss and Todd Tucker. After 11 years, they are officially separating, calling it quits.
And the timing of this is it's everything. I mean, if you're trying to really understand the shock of this announcement, you have to look at what happened less than 2 weeks before.
Right. Before the news dropped on November 21st, Kandi was standing on stage at BravoCon.
Accepting the Lifetime Achievement Award, of all things. The irony is just, wow.
And what she said then, I mean, listening back to it now, it doesn't sound like a celebration. It sounds more like a carefully written eulogy for the relationship.
It really does. She got up there and she thanked Todd for weathering the storm. And she listed it all out.
Yeah, she did. The blogs, the shade, the rumors, the lies, the truth, the almost fights, the actual fights, the reunions. It was like this final professional toast before they closed the books on the whole thing.
Which tells you how much planning, how much crisis management must have been going on behind the scenes for weeks, if not months. This was a very strategic exit.
Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're not really here to speculate on the emotional side of things, but to get into the cold, hard reality of what happens next. We're peeling back the layers on the legal and financial mess that they now have to untangle.
Exactly. We're focusing on the assets, the huge portfolio of businesses they built together, the terms of that infamous prenuptial agreement, and crucially, why hitting that 10-year marriage mark changes the entire game for both of them.
Okay, so let's start with the basics. The headline confirmed the split on November 21st, the end of an 11-year reality TV love story.
They started dating back in 2011, right on the set of The Real Housewives of Atlanta, where he was a line producer.
And they got married in April 2014, so that puts them squarely at 11 years of marriage.
Right, and Kandi's statement to People magazine was very, very deliberate, very focused.
Yeah, she said the decision came after deep thought and a lot of prayer, but the key phrase for me was that her focus is on protecting my peace, being the best mother I can be, and co-parenting with love and respect.
That phrase, protecting my peace, that's a huge signal. It basically says the pressure from the businesses, the family, all of it, it just reached a breaking point.
It frames the divorce as self-preservation, not a failure.
Exactly. It's a very smart, very controlled way to put it out there.
And if you look back at the weeks before this very controlled announcement, the clues were piling up. I mean, the separation was clearly happening for a while.
Oh, for sure. The internet sleuths were all over it. They noticed she had, subtly removed Tucker from her Instagram bio a while back.
And the big one, the one we already mentioned, was at BravoCon. While she's giving that speech praising Todd, she's not wearing her wedding ring?
Right. A very public, very visible statement.
It's just so fascinating. It suggests that the terms were probably already agreed upon. The public appearance was more about, I don't know, managing the narrative.
And when Todd commented on her speech, calling her the GOAT,
yeah,
the greatest of all time, it doesn't look like a husband celebrating his wife anymore.
No.
It looks like a business partner endorsing her legacy, which is a really important distinction.
It really is. It feels like a professional handover. But look, all of this drama, all these little clues, they're nothing compared to the one thing that has hung over this relationship from day one.
The prenup.
The infamous prenuptial agreement. This is where the whole thing gets incredibly complicated for you, the listener.
And we have to start with the sheer financial reality of why that prenup was so essential. I mean, Kandi Burruss's net worth is estimated at around $30 million.
Yeah, and that's from Grammys, songwriting, RHOA, bedroom Kandi.
Yeah.
A lot of that is premarital money.
And Todd's net worth at the time of the wedding, about $400,000.
That gap is just, it's staggering. It immediately makes the prenup feel less about trust and more about, pure business protection.
And it became must-see TV. We all watched it play out. The negotiation almost stopped the wedding.
He signed it literally minutes before they walked down the aisle.
Famously calling it some bullshot.
Yeah.
He was not happy.
No. And the big fight, the one everyone remembers, was about the house. He fought so hard against that one clause.
The residential clause. Kandi insisted that if they split, he had to be out of her house or premarital home in 30 days.
Just 30 days. It was brutal.
And that's where he just sort of broke. He asked her, is this personal or is it just business? And how do I get out of the damn house in 30 days? You could feel how much it stung him.
But Kandi never wavered. She was always very clear. She'd seen other celebrities get taken to the cleaners, and she said, I refuse to pay spousal support, period.
So for a decade, I think the assumption was that this prenup was ironclad, that if they ever split, Todd would walk away with basically nothing.
Right.
But here is the critical legal pivot point, the 11-year duration. This is where that prenup starts to look a lot less invincible.
Okay, so explain that. Why is crossing the 10-year mark so important?
Well, in many jurisdictions, passing 10 years of marriage just fundamentally changes the financial conversation in a divorce. So while her prenup likely protects her from paying alimony from her premarital money.
Right, the $30 million is safe.
Correct. But the length of the marriage gives Todd's legal team a much stronger position to demand an equitable, a fair division of the marital asset.
So everything they built together, from 2014 until now.
Precisely. The challenge isn't her old money. It's the 11 years of joint business growth. And they co-created a massive empire. All of that is on the table for division. He has a much stronger claim to a big piece of that pie now than he would have at year 5 or year 8.
So this is why it's basically a corporate dissolution. They have to value this huge, complicated portfolio of businesses.
And it is a huge portfolio. We should probably just pause and list them out because it's a lot to dismantle.
Let's do it. First, you have the restaurants, Old Lady Gang, OLG, which is like central to their whole story.
And Blaze Steakhouse, the more upscale spot.
Then you have the production companies. I mean, they were co-owners on stuff that produced their own Bravo spin-offs. They literally turned their marriage into a revenue stream.
Right. And don't forget the other stuff, like the trucking company. It's a really diverse portfolio.
And then there's the one that I think always surprises people. Their Broadway producing careers. They became serious players.
Very serious. Co-producing Tony-nominated plays like The Piano Lesson and Othello. That's not a small thing.
So how do you even begin to value all that? A trucking company versus the back-end points on a Broadway show.
It's a logistical nightmare. It requires forensic accountants. It adds so much time and so much money to the divorce process itself.
And it seems like the stress from all those businesses was a huge factor in the split. We know things weren't going smoothly.
No, not at all. There was public documentation of the financial problems. Just a few months ago, their restaurant group got hit with a lawsuit for about $200,000.
Wow. What was that for?
It was about $154,000 in back rent and another $56,000 for repairs at Blaze Steakhouse. And their emergency motion against the landlord was denied, so it all became very public.
So when Kandi says she's protecting my peace, separating herself from a public $200,000 lawsuit, that makes a lot of business sense.
It's a clean financial reason to end the partnership. Sometimes it's not about cheating, it's just about reaching the absolute maximum stress level a business arrangement can handle.
Okay, so you cannot talk about this divorce, especially the money part, without talking about the voice that has been ringing in everyone's ears for a decade.
Oh, Mama Joyce.
Mama Joyce. The I told you so narrative is everywhere.
It's thick. She was the one driving that prenup, always saying she was afraid Todd was running a scheme and was just after Kandi's money.
And the fans are totally split, right? You go on Reddit or X, and one side is like, see, Mama Joyce was right all along. He waited 11 years to get the maximum payout.
But the other view, which you have to admit is a strong one, is that 11 years is a really long time to run a scheme.
A very long time.
Especially under that kind of pressure from her family. It suggests they really did give it a genuine try.
Yeah, 11 years is too long for it to just be a calculated failure. Which brings us to the last piece of this puzzle, and it might be the most important one. The family.
The co-parenting. They have 2 young kids together, Ace, who's 9, and Blaze, who's 5, plus their older daughters. So Kandi's statement about co-parenting with love and respect is the #1 priority.
And we've already seen them doing it. They showed up together for their daughter Blaze's 6th birthday, just days after the announcement.
Which is smart. It signals maturity, and it's strategic. It lowers the risk of a messy public custody fight, which would be terrible for the kids and for both of their brands.
So if we're summarizing the core takeaways for you from this whole deep dive, it's really 3 things. Financial protection from day one, this incredibly complicated business empire they built together, and the huge importance of crossing that 10-year legal line.
And Kandi is already moving on. pivoting her brand. She's heading back to Broadway in Juliet in December. It's a perfect move to redefine herself as this resilient mogul, separate from the reality TV marriage drama.
But it leaves this giant question mark hanging over Todd's future, right? His financial independence is now completely tied to the valuation and division of those marital assets, the restaurants, the production companies, all of it.
Yeah, so I guess the final question is this really about finding personal peace, like Kandi said in her statement?
Or is this just what it looks like when you have to execute the most complex, the most expensive corporate breakup we've seen on reality TV in, what, a decade? I think the final numbers, when they eventually come out, will tell the real story of what this split truly cost.
You've been listening to The Deep Dive, where we uncover the stories shaping Hollywood music and pop culture. Thanks for tuning in, and don't forget to subscribe for more stories that keep the stars shining.